In 1999, a group of enthusiastic aquarists established the Fish Art Project in the Aquatic Biology Laboratory of Mexico's Michoacan University, with support from Chester Zoo. The principal aim was to establish ex situ populations of all 41 species of gothic fish, most of which were critically endangered, and some of which are now considered extinct in the wild. My name is Omar Domínguez. I'm professor in Michoacan University, and I'm the coordinator of the Fish Art Project and Zoogoneticus tequila reintroduction program. Zoogoneticus tequila had become extinct in the wild several years before its formal description in 1998, but ex situ populations remained in zoos and aquariums in other countries. In the year 2000, the English aquarist Ivan Dibble brought 20 individuals of this species back to Mexico after 20 years in exile. These specimens were donated by Chester Zoo. In 2012, Fossile Scandinavia, a Poncilla, Netherlands, supported the construction of a soil pond into which 80 specimens of Zoogoneticus tequila were released. In the pond, they were exposed to semi-wild conditions, having to adapt to the presence of parasites, changes in water parameters, predators, finding their own food, and so on. This population will eventually grow to around 10,000 individuals, providing valuable insights into the species' feeding ecology, reproductive biology, and the virulence of parasites. In 2014, we planned the Zoogoneticus tequila reintroduction project to be conducted in several phases following the USN guidelines for reintroduction and other conservation translocations. The first on-site phase was to study the environmental and ecological condition of the natural habitat and to choose the release site. We conducted studies into the diversity and population of zooplankton, phytoplankton, invertebrates, fish, and parasites that live in the area, as well as water and habitat quality studies. With this information, coupled with findings from the semi-captive population, we were able to hypothesize about the possible interactions, both positive and negative, with the biotic and abiotic conditions of Teuchitlands, and to identify the location with the most suitable linological and ecological characteristics for reintroduction. We also found that exotic species, mainly the two-spotted levyberry, Pseudophytophorus bimaculatus, could have a negative impact on new Zoogoneticus tequila population. Having chosen the area for introduction, we began to remove exotic fish and to build traps to prevent their return. We removed parasites from the individuals to be released in order to prevent their reintroduction into the habitat. The pre-release experiments were done into 5 4 meters cubic net cages that were used as a mesocosm. After initial high mortality rates, the surviving fish demonstrate the ability to feed, grow, and reproduce. During this phase, we continued to carry out field surveys, focusing on limnological characteristics, diversity and population studies of zooplankton, phytoplankton, invertebrates, fish, and parasite communities, and their potential interaction with the new population of Zoogoneticus tequila. We decided to begin the full release on November 1st, 2016. This is the Day of the Dead, a very important day for Mexican people, when it is traditional belief that loved ones who have departed on the afterlife will return to spend the night with their living relatives. Reintroducing Zoogoneticus tequila on the Day of the Dead was a highly symbolic act, with a beloved species that had died out years before returning from extinction. The fair introduction consisted of 80 individuals, all marked. After 2 months, only 36 of these could be found. 6 months later, we encountered 114, and half of the females encountered were pregnant. 55% of the fish were unmarked, indicating that successful reproduction was already underway. Over the next 3 years, we conducted a complete monitoring program of the reintroduction population and its habitat. We found that the population initially grew quickly, but eventually began to stabilize. Now we are conducting capture-recapture methods to try to determine the size of the reproduced population. We have also started work on the reintroduction project of other extinct species from the area, Scyphia francese, and hope to have the same success as with Zoogoneticus tequila. One of the most important tasks in conservation and the natural science is the transfer of knowledge and ideas to society, so that the benefits of sustainable development and conservation can be enjoyed more widely. During the 6 years of this conservation project, we have developed local capacity to secure the long-term conservation of the Teuchitlan River and the native fish species that live there. Now government, society, and local rangers have become a part of this conservation initiative and are working hard to reverse the red in all sense.